YouTube! It's been a minute. Oh man, it's been a while since the last video. Apologies for the delay. Since the last video, it's been quite stressful. If you're not aware, we here in Canada have been affected by the Canada Post strike. So that basically means that we don't have any postal services aside from FedEx, Purolator, UPS, and even then they're kind of delayed with the strike that's happening because they're swamped with all the packages coming to them instead of Canada Post. So it has been a stressful couple of weeks in terms of orders and shipments and all that. So that being said, if you've placed an order with me, first of all, thank you so much. But also, I do apologize for all the delays. I am trying my best to work around all these delays and this strike. I'm trying to get your order to you as soon as possible. So I appreciate your patience and hopefully I can get them to you before Christmas because it is a headache right now. But yeah, moving on. We have a lot to catch up on. We got new prints, latest pickups, and we even go to the Baddest Shoe Museum in Toronto. Lots of ground to cover. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so it's October 29th. I had an idea for a new print, and it's for the Wu-Tang Dunks that are coming out on November the 9th, so I'm kind of on a time crunch right now. I sketched out an initial idea. Wu-Tang released a video not too long ago promoting the new dunk coming up, and they had this whole imagery with like a beekeeper and like a bee smoker, and I kind of wanted to use that as my imagery. So I kind of just quickly sketched something from a reference image I found on the internet. I'm not really liking this visual right now. I do have another idea because I kind of want to make it a bit more comic book-like, similar to how I did with the Doom poster. So hopefully I can get this done. This time crunch is kind of killing me right now, but hopefully we can get this done within a few days before the actual release, so I can post this before the actual shoes come out, but we'll see how it goes. A couple hours later, and this is what I currently have. Keep in mind it's rough, so I know the drawings look pretty bad. Proportions are kind of weird, hand is kind of weird. Ignore all that, ignore all the shading, whatever. Ignore it, it's rough, okay? So what I have here is I wanted to use the beekeeper that was in the video that I mentioned earlier, but I wanted it to be more so like a vague character, like you don't know who it is. That's why I have this shading right here. And then I want them to be holding the shoe because it is obviously the highlight of the entire poster. And then I took some elements from the actual video again. Obviously I want them to be wearing the beekeeper outfit. And then I use the hive. I want to include that hive graphic that was on the billboard in the back. And same with the bee. So this bee graphic, it was on the ice cream truck in the video, and I want to make sure I include that. These random blotches, currently blotches, they're basically bees, but you know when you're watching, if you've ever seen a video of like a beekeeper, usually when they're taking out the honeycombs or whatever they call it, like those boards with all the bees on it, you'd normally see a bunch of bees like flying in front of the camera. This is kind of what I was hoping to do. It's almost like a blurred effect. I'm going to do some motion blur on that and when I'm actually illustrating it so that hopefully I can create that effect. But yeah, I'm going to have some of them blurred out and then maybe a couple scattered about that are more so in focus. But yeah, that's what I currently have so far. I will need to work a bit more on it. I need to learn, I want to look into how to improve the clothing, like the folds in clothing. I might have to like try and model it to see how I can actually make this look a lot better. But yeah, that's what I have so far. Hello. So it's been a couple days since my last update. I kind of fast-tracked this. I tend to get into this kind of flow state where I just start really focusing on the print and I just, next thing you know, it's finished. So yeah, this is the final version of the print. I really like how it turned out. I was spending a lot of time on the smoke here. Let me zoom in. Like I had a lot of trouble with the smoke around the beekeeper. So with my previous iteration, turn off this layer. As you can see, the smoke is less prominent or like less detailed. It was more so like a haze. and I kind of liked it, but also it didn't really give off that comic book effect that I was looking for. So after maybe like another couple hours, I found some stuff that I can mimic to make it look more so like a comic book, and that's where I ended up with this. Yeah, this version aligns a lot more to the whole comic book aspect or aesthetic that I was trying to go for. And it's not too overpowering to where you can't really see the beekeeper anymore. So I'm glad that it all worked out like that. I decided to add a lot more bees instead of the previous version because it just felt missing. It felt a bit empty in certain areas. That's why I added a bit more. And then I wanted to make sure at least one of the bees here were mostly visible that you can see, whereas the other ones can be, you know, like moving about and whatnot, like you can see there. But yeah, really glad that it all worked out. I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. And I already sent it to my print shop, so I'm waiting for them to ship it out, and we'll see how it is in person. So while we wait for that Wu-Tang poster to come in the meantime, I did come up with another idea of a poster. This one is specifically for a sneaker store in Toronto called Makeway. And they're actually having collaboration with Nike on a P6000, and that's actually what you're looking at. So right now they're just doing teases for their shoe. They'll be releasing their shoe on the 20th of November, so I have a bit of time to create my poster. As you can see here, it's really nice. I do like the colors, orange and almost like a salmon, maybe like a light beige with like light blues. Love the accents there. But yeah, my idea is to use the Air Max poster, not this one on the left, this one on the right. So I want to do something like this, where it's like instead of the Air Max 1, I want to put the P6000s. And then in the background here where you see the palm trees, I want to put like the Toronto skyline, and then still use like the same gradient of the sky back there. Because I do like that in the back. Maybe put their logo here or something like that. And then here at the bottom, I do want to put something like text that relates more to them. So maybe I was thinking along the lines of like clear a path or something like that, for, you know, like another way of saying make way, right? I feel like that would make sense. I do have an idea of how this will work. Obviously, this is pretty much the context that I have of how it will look. They haven't posted anything aside from that. They did post like this teaser video here, but it's more so obviously like a teaser, so you don't really see the full shoe in clearer detail than this, because it's a nice retro vibe that they have using probably like an older camera or maybe post-production editing and stuff like that. But yeah, aside from this, it's pretty much just this image that we have here, these two images. So what I'm planning to do is to find a normal P6000 and just use that as my frame of reference. And then hopefully in the coming days, they'll post a bit more teaser images for the shoe. But in the meantime, I think this is actually pretty good in terms of the amount of color I need, or, you know, reference I need to kind of illustrate the shoe and place the colors that they decided on the actual illustration. Yeah, so we'll go from there, and then hopefully it'll all come together to create the poster that I had in mind. So it is November 10th, November 11th, like it's basically November 11th, it's like 1 in the morning. Since my last post, a lot more official images have come out with the collaboration, and I've been heavily relying on them in terms of shape, details, especially colors as well. So I'm really glad that these came out at the right time. Yeah, so I managed to get one down. This model has so much detail that it took me so much time to actually create, especially the sole here. Like if you take a look at it, all these waves and whatnot, it took a while for me to understand how to draw them, because some of them look like they were not connected, or some of them looked like they were connected, and I had to know where to connect each piece. I don't know, it was kind of hard for me to figure out, but in the end we made it there. So yeah, we have one down. I still have to make the other one. So based on what I was describing earlier, this is essentially how I'm gonna make it look. So if we were to move so like that, and then add the shoe on top of there. So yeah, I still have to make this one here, and then I have to edit obviously the leg, so it's not a man's, but it's more so like a woman's legs in general. And hopefully we can tweak this, and then, you know, all the details that I mentioned in my last update. So have to get this going before the actual release time. We have like what, 9 days until the actual release, so that includes me having to finish this and then have it printed at my local print shop and then ship it over to them, because I unfortunately won't be able to make it for the actual release as far as I can tell, because it's on a weekday. I think it's on a Wednesday, and I will definitely be at work and I won't be able to be down there for the release. So hopefully we can get it in time, but we'll keep going from here. Alrighty, so November 14. It's been a couple days, but we've finally finished the poster. This is the final version. I'm really happy with how it turned out, but I will say that I was kind of struggling with the empty space in this corner right here, simply because it was empty. I kind of struggled with it. And as I was doing my research, I found one of the original posters, and as you can see, there is that empty space. Also, I find it's a lot more zoomed in than the initial photo that I used, but it kind of works out in our favor because you want to highlight the shoe a lot more, right? So that's also what I did for mine as well, but I made sure to have a little bit of space so that as long as we can include that skyline in the background as well. You'll also notice that I included a border around the poster, similar to how I did with my Air Jordan 4 Nike SB print as well. And going back to when I was doing my research, I did find another artist that I actually follow named Kicks on Canvas. They did their own version of the Air Max ad as well, with their own twist to it. And as you can see, they added this border around. So I wanted to do that as well for mine. So that's what I did. And that's where I included the Makeway X Nike Party 6000. So that way you're kind of highlighting back to the actual shoe itself as well. You'll notice that what I also did is, instead of using the full logo, I put it up here in the top right instead. And then I used their MW logo that is on their actual socks that they have in the store. I used that as my template so that I can include a logo without having two of them, so that it's not redundant. But yeah, I think it's a nice touch, so that way it's not too overbearing with both logos in front of you. But yeah, I have already sent it to print from my print shop, and hopefully we can get that in the next couple days. Once we do, we'll get that sorted and we'll ship it off to them. Quick update for you. It's currently November 18, and sadly I didn't get a shipping confirmation from my print shop just yet for the poster, so I don't think we'll be able to make it in time for the release. I'm still obviously going to give them the poster anyway, whenever it arrives. So yeah, we're still waiting on that. Bit of cool news, good news, I guess. I actually was able to get the Travis Scott Nike Zoom Field Jacks because they shock dropped yesterday during Complex Con. This is a pair that I've been looking forward to, mainly because of the colors. I really like how it's laid out, and while I'm not a big fan of the strap, I am a big fan of everything else, so I think I can get around that, and that's totally fine. But yeah, I'm excited for it to come in, and maybe I'll include that in a future video. So as you probably saw in my previous footage, it did take some time for the posters to arrive. I think these two were at the very beginning, just before the actual Canada Post strike. And I think that was around the time that the holiday season started kicking in. So basically, you know, around this time is when shipments tend to take a bit longer for it to arrive because of all the backlog of all the holiday orders and stuff like that. Also with like Black Friday, it was around that whole weird time where shipments tend to be taking a lot longer to arrive. But either way, we did get them. Here it is, the Wu-Tang Dunk poster. I thought it translated really well for it from digital to print. Really happy with the result. And then here's the Makeway one as well, the Party 6000. For the Makeway one, we did end up going to Makeway the following Sunday, so I think that's around the 24th. And yeah, as you can see from the footage, Abby and Shelby, they really liked it, and they actually started talking about where to hang it in store. I gave them the posters in the frame, and I actually added a second frame. I did make a first poster for them way long time ago. It was for the Air Jordan 1 Starfish, and they had it hanging in the store, which is amazing. Abby even made a joke that she wanted to wear it proudly, I thought it was really cool for her to say. She wanted it like a graphic on a hoodie or something like that. But yeah, it was funny. The thing is, what was super dope about that moment To give you some context, I did that. I made the poster for them just because I really wanted to celebrate that moment with them and just share a poster like I did for, like I said, the previous release that they had with the Air Jordan 1 Low. The cool part about this whole interaction I had with the ladies at Makeway was that they actually released the Party 6000 the day before. I think it was on the Saturday morning, online, like on their web store. And I was thinking of buying it, but if we were going to go there already, I was hoping to buy it in person so that I didn't have to pay for shipping and all that. So yeah, when we went down there, I gave them the poster, and I was actually, there was this moment where they basically were just looking at the poster and stuff. And I went over to the display to look at the shoe, and I was thinking of getting the shoe. And then what was really cool was that the staff actually came over and they gave me a pair for free, which was totally unexpected. I was fully intending on buying it, but they just gave me one because they wanted to show some love as well. And that was amazing. So yeah, this is what led me to getting my pair, my personal pair. Yeah, I really love how the shoe turned out. The leather hits on this are amazing. Definitely going to wear this more in the summer though, for sure, because I do not want to get this dirty for the winter or fall or anywhere where it's like snowing or raining or anything like that. So yeah, definitely going to prepare this for summer. I did try it in store and it's very comfy on foot, I can tell you that. So maybe it will be one of my daily pairs that I'll wear for when I'm on the go and stuff like that. Really happy with this. Thank you so much again to the Makeway team, Abby and Shelby for sure. I really appreciate your kindness on this pair, and I'm super excited to wear this in the warmer weather. And while we're talking about latest pickups, I might as well include the fact that I did finally get my Travis Scott Zoom Field Jack shoes. They did take some time to come in because my homie over in LA, shout out to you, Jesse, he shipped them over here, and it does take some time for it to arrive. But yeah, now that it's in hand, I really love how it looks. The material of this knit and the color of the whole shoe, it's probably the reason why I really love this pair. I still have to get used to this Velcro strap, I won't lie. But yeah, this is yet another pair that I'm excited to wear in the summer. Definitely a summer shoe. Yeah, this is one of the few times where Travis doesn't use a reverse swoosh on his shoe. It's only here in a small version of it over here. But aside from that, he uses a normal swoosh, and that's kind of different than he usually does. But yeah, I really liked how this pair looks. These haven't released yet. I don't know when the official release date is, but I knew that once they dropped these at Complex Con, I had to try for it. And luckily I was able to get a pair. So yeah, I will definitely wear this more so in the summer, like most of my pairs. And yeah, in earlier November, I think around the 3rd, that was when we went downtown to the Bata Shoe Museum for an exhibit called Artwear. And that was basically where they had a lot of collaborations between artists and shoe brands on display in the exhibit. Honestly, I thought it was cool. I will say that the exhibit felt a lot smaller than I thought it would be. So if you find yourself in downtown Toronto with an hour, maybe an hour and a half to spare, then yeah, definitely give it a shot. The admission was free it was free for us. I think we went on a Sunday. And you do have access to the entire museum as well. So you can take a look at the other exhibits that are on display. And there's a lot of walking. I did notice there was a lot of stairs and a lot of walking in there. So just be ready for that. But yeah, it was a pretty cool exhibit to look at. And yeah, that kind of wraps up everything I have for you in terms of updates and everything so far. In terms of upcoming videos, I am thinking, with everything that's happening with Canada Post, with all these delays and whatnot, I'm kind of thinking of getting my own larger format printer so that I can print my posters here versus having to wait for my print shop to get everything ready and then ship it to me. I'm kind of having an issue with the print shop that I usually use because I think the carrier that they're using may have lost my actual order. So I'm dealing with that right now, but yeah, it's stuff like that where it's kind of making me think maybe it's better to have a printer in-house that I can use so I can just print and then ship them out more quickly. Maybe we can look into that together. Is it better to have a printer in-house for you to use, or is it better to outsource your printing so that you can have nice quality and all that stuff? But look forward to that video whenever I do come up with it on the channel, so keep an eye out. But yeah, aside from all that, hopefully you all have a good holiday season, winter break, however you want to call it. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.